Hey guys, Crowbar Zero here today, and I'm somehow going to try to knock out another one before I have to head back to the office for so a nice little lunch period where I can get two of these done. I'm surprised I'm actually able to knock out possibly two. But anyway, today we're going to go over Swift's tower over here. So they just sent me a picture of their coin bot. They're like, yeah, maybe I can, respec this. But the nice thing going into this is that I can see that there's, even if they, whatever they respec this thing to, there's metals to throw around where we can kind of tweak this to make it really, really juicy. So excited for that. Let's jump it out. Let's see here. So we've got, and for anyone sending me like pictures of like the relic, I'm not as concerned about this. You kind of have what you have. It's just going to be the bonus that you have. It's not going to be anything that's going to change any sort of like strategies that I'm probably going to be suggesting. But obviously the lab speed is always nice. The more the merrier that you got, as well as the rest of the stats. But yeah. Let's see. Got their dimension core over here with chain lightning and black hole size. Okay. We have about like 10 in size there. They sent me some rankings, roughly where they're at. I'm not too worried. Sometimes this can be helpful just if I need to suggest, hey, why don't you give this tier a shot? Because maybe they're farming like, and chances are from looking at this, maybe they're farming like T12. No, it looks like they might be farming T10 right now. So, okay. So I might, depending on the build, sometimes I might suggest trying like tier 9, tier 8. Sometimes that may work out better depending on the build, but we'll see how things go. Actually, let me take a look because we'll see how many waves that they've been able to go. So these are probably some older runs, and this may not be indicative of what they can do now, but I'm guessing what I can see, probably T10, T11 is kind of where they've been farming, and it looks like probably a little bit more of T11, because there's not much of a difference in coin between these two, but there's a big wave difference. So like coins per hour is probably better at T11 from what they've been doing here. But it may end up being better at T11 with it, or T10 after what I suggest. We'll see. Sometimes you gotta scale it back to get the most bang for your buck. So you've got modules. Let's see what they got equipped. Okay. Multiverse Nexus and DP, or Death Penalty. Yeah, that's going to hurt any sort of farming that you're doing. So this is a pain point. Like, whatever, any other cannon module I would use, but not DP for your farming. DP is great for tournament runs. Like, I always use it for tournament runs. It's fantastic. But I would not use it for farming runs just because the likelihood of killing enemies outside of all of your econ related items is just so high that you tend to end up hurting yourself quite a bit by using this module during your farm runs. Let's see. Generating, most people are generating about 2 to 10 times as much coin. Some of that might be just because this is stealing all the kills that you really need. But maybe we can switch this around. Maybe once this is changed and the other stuff is kind of like tweaked and min-maxed out, maybe we can get this performing where you're maybe making like twice as much as everyone else. We'll see. Let's see. We've got some juicy ultimate weapons to look through here. It looks like we've got smart missiles, not developed yet, probably a recent acquisition. from what I can tell. But yeah, so getting that cooldown, well, we've got. I think you're using Multiverse Nexus. That's this could be another pain point. Could be good, could be bad. Kind of see. Let's see what other modules you've got here. So you have Chip. And it looks like you're probably not too far. Or maybe you might even be able to get Chip up to Mythic, I think. It's been a while since I've leveled some of these up, so we're going to look at the big chart of what it takes to level stuff up. So, looks like... yeah, you could take this up to Legend Plus, and then you don't have a core module to throw away at this yet. So, yeah. Oh, wait, no, it's already Legend Plus. Never mind. Right, so, yeah, just work on getting maybe like Chip bumped up, and then that might be a good substitute to get some of those synchronized up. That's assuming that you do want smart missiles to clear out prots that are in your black hole. That's why I keep on suggesting that. Chip would be kind of nice. One, it'll target bosses, so you can always make sure that your spotlight is pointed at a boss. But for some people, they may want to use this instead for something along the lines of, for tournament runs. You do have Dimension Core, you do have Chain Lightning, and Chain Lightning is pretty up there. So I'd keep the Dimension Core for tournament use, and maybe Multiverse Nexus for the time being until you get Smart Missile cooldown, and this developed, so you can just nuke out enemies. And then once this is matched up with, your Golden Tower and Death Wave, then yeah, you'll probably start moving away for a little while from using Multiverse Nexus. Let me see what we've got over here. Black hole. Okay, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So yeah, you're not benefiting a huge amount from Multiverse Nexus currently. Like, everything's synced up. Yeah, you can switch out of. It's very, very marginal what increases you actually are getting currently for using that specific module effect, because it's only, was it -1 second? So it's not a huge deal right now. Now, if you do get Ancestral, you can just kind of count that as like a global, and if everything's kind of all still matched up, you can just count that as like, oh, no, it's a -10 seconds, and just have smart missiles to kind of accommodate. I don't see G-Comp in here. I think, were you the one that, Nope. Okay. There was somebody else that was mentioning, like, oh yeah, on Reddit, I'm the guy who's, Oh wait, no, I think this is you. Oh yeah. I'm the unlucky guy on Reddit who has 2 Ancestrals but not a single G-Comp. So, yeah. Well, we're working around it. It's not the end of all things. I mean, if you can use smart missiles to clear out prots and you're earning twice as much, then why would you want to break that chain? And then as far as, let me double check here. So 2 minutes and 30 seconds, that's 120, that's 150 seconds. So, as far as your coin bot goes, if you do respec it, and maybe even take off your multiverse nexus already and switch it out, if you're able to respec this so it's only at 100 seconds, that'll match this up, and that means that, what is it, if it's 150 seconds, so every 3 activations of this or 2 activations of your ultimate weapons, everything will line up and you'll be getting this bonus. So I think overall that's probably going to equal more like every 2 activations. So roughly about half this value. So not quite 2 times as much coin, but kind of close. And hell, you could probably drain some of this out of there right into bonus, and it'll be right at like twice your coin. Just for not using Multiverse Nexus and respecing. So that, I think that's kind of cool. Let me see here. I honestly, I think that's going to be like freaking huge. Like, yeah, pulling out DP, getting that synchronization going. Like you're just so close to it. It's just like a bloop bloop, and things are done. Just going over labs. I think I checked. I did go through them earlier. I looked at them, and so I'm definitely going to say keep the speed. If your attack speed is probably good enough right now, there's other labs that I would definitely invest into, because it looks like Smart Missiles is a recent acquisition. Your Smart Missile labs, like the Explosion, which then goes into Explosion Radius, and then your Smart Missile amps are going to be a big one. So you might actually want to use this slot specifically for Smart Missiles. Standard perk bonus, you definitely want to get that. That's going to affect every part of your run during your farming run. So very, very powerful, even though it only is like 1% per level. It's like 1% on everything. So it's really, really good. Deathwave cell bonus, I think that's solid. Yeah. You want to get more cells so you can run your labs faster. So solid choice here. Reroll shards. I did look at your modules. I think it was right over here. Nope. Modules. Okay. So for modules, the order that I would go in would be generally common drop chance, then into rare drop chance, then into daily mission shards. And you can kind of go back and forth because it looks like you're probably struggling with reroll shards, and that's why you're doing this lab right now. Go back and forth between the two of them. I think that's pretty solid. And then after you get those done, I would go into module shard cost. You're not losing anything by holding out on this one. It's pretty minimal as far as the number of levels that you get for investing into it. It's maybe like 1 level of a boost, maybe sometimes not even that. So, yeah. And then I probably wouldn't even touch the module coin cost unless somehow you're able to get your module level so crazy that, yeah, I don't think most people are going to need to invest in this at all. So, yeah. And I'm kind of going through this fairly on the quicker side because I was able to look at things a little bit earlier. So, yeah, let me just pull up some of the ultimate weapons. Your shock stuff is pretty solid for, like, for tournaments. As far as you got here, maybe eventually if you want to get shock chance up to, like, 10%, that would be cool. But, like, a missile amp right here at level 1, such a huge deal. Being able to bump that up will be very, very powerful. And then I think it's the previous picture here. Yeah, you haven't even started the missile explosion. That basically gives AoE to smart missiles and to spotlight missiles. So that is extremely powerful. Those I would probably... I would give a little bit more preference to these two currently over Spotlight Missiles. Now, Spotlight Missiles, this where you're going to use this bad boy is going to be in tournaments for the vast majority of the time. Because you don't want Spotlight Missiles during your farming runs to be stealing kills. You want to be, hoarding as many enemies as you possibly can. And then when your econ goes off, you just boop, and just blow everything away. And let's see, let's check out let's see, do we have a workshop? I think we do, yes. Alright, so workshop. For this strategy, so basically the only way that you should be killing enemies is with eventually smart missiles when all of your econ goes off. So other than that, you're going to want to gather as many enemies as you can on your tower. So to do that, you want minimal attack speed. You can minimize crit chance or crit factor. Usually what I would do... here, actually, let me double check here. Yeah, I would probably not have a critical card in your deck until much later into the run when you actually have to build this up. So it'd be no attack speed, no critical card, minimal attack range. You can keep damage as, pretty on the lower side. Multi-shot chance, rapid fire chance, bounce shot chance. The rest of the stuff you can raise up. You don't have to worry about super crit, because if you're not critting in the first place, then you're not going to be super critting. So you can build those up and benefit for a little bit more ultimate weapon damage. For your workshop on this side, I would say you want to keep your thorns damage on the lower side. Absolute defense is probably going to be pretty powerful for this because enemies are just going to be cooking on your wall or on your tower itself. So you want absolute defense to be soaking up and absorbing as much damage for as long as you possibly can. So don't neglect this as part of this build. And then knockback chance, I would leave that on maybe on the lower side. Orb speed, you can keep that maxed out to whatever it is, but I would minimize orbs. I would take this off, so this should be 0 orbs. Now in a run, you could do use the perk orbs. There still should be enough enemies that kind of sneak past 2 orbs to be able to gather a good chunk of enemies. But if you're running 6 of them, that's going to take out way too many of them. Let's see. Shockwave size, shockwave frequency. You're not up to 100% black hole uptime on everything, so I would minimize your shockwave size. When it comes to landmines, you can put points into landmine damage. That's fine. But you're going to want to take all the points out of landmine chance because you don't want your landmines to be stealing kills from all the rest of your econ. Let's see, and we got the lower end of it. Let's see. Landmine radius, again, you can keep that up as long as the chance is 0. You're not going to be spawning at landmines, and they're not going to be a threat. And yeah, the rest of that's fine. In this area, you're going to want to not use free ups. So you're going to minimize these guys. And the reason because you don't want your free ups to be adding to stats that you don't want to increase in the first place. And this is where things like cash becomes a little bit more important so that you can continually improve your enemy attack level skips. But yeah, so that's a big pain point for any of this that's away from using free ups. But the quality of your kills is so much higher that you're probably going to be making much more coin overall. And then since you did, I think, yeah, you did show me this one. Right now you're probably farming it at T11. I would say try this on like tier 8 or 9. I think that's going to be a good spot for you to do all this. And then once you get your smart missile cooldown to 2 minutes and 30 seconds, which shouldn't be that difficult, and a little bit more damage and quantity, and again, that smart missile labs are going to be super important, especially so you can knock out those prots. What you would do is when you start up a round, you quickly turn it off and then quickly turn on smart missiles. So hopefully you can get something around the line of like maybe a 20-second delay, maybe 30-second. I think probably like a 20-second delay between the start of everything. So smart missiles land 20 seconds after all of your econ activates. I think it would be a really good spot. And then talking about like some of the durations here. So if we add another 12 to your black hole duration, that will bring it up to 37. You've got way more duration than this. So right now, I wouldn't recommend any additional duration because the sweet spot is going to be the overlap on here. For black holes specifically, I would bring this up 3 more seconds. So you're bringing it up to about 28 seconds. And the reason why 28 seconds is that's kind of it's a sweet spot for a much later endgame strat that uses either like 28 seconds with a 12-second perk, or you're putting on like a 4-second black hole duration on top of having 26 seconds. So save you a lot of stones. Maybe if that strat's still viable later on, I would shoot for 28 seconds here. You know, plenty of room to develop both the black hole size and the GT bonus. But I think right now, like, rushing this out to 2 minutes and 30 seconds and getting some oomph on this, as well as those smart missile labs, are going to be really important. And I might, let's revisit the labs again. So I really don't want to take away from the shard slot, which will be common drop chance. Cells are really important. Perks are really important. Lab speed is super important. This absolutely needs to be permanent in there. So attack speed and maybe very tempered. Oh man, this is so painful. This is just yeah, I would say give up the standard perk bonus, and this is really cringe for me telling you this. Like, I don't want to suggest this, but for where you're at and where you want to go as quickly as possible, turn these into Smart Missile Amp and this into the Explosion and Smart Missile Radius. That follows after that Unlock Missile Explosion. Maybe once you get to the point where it's like, okay, I'm reliably killing the prots that are in my black hole, like the coins are sweet and all of that stuff, maybe, dip out of that for a little while. Oh, jeez. Oh, man, sorry about that. Whew, my neck hurt from that sneeze. Dip back into this and finish this off, because that is really important. Anyway, I'm just going back, taking off that. You could leave Black Hole Digester, that's fine. Even if you aren't using free ups. Now, if you do... Yeah, instead of black hole digester, I'm thinking... How close are you to... It's not this one. Oh, there you go. SH. Maybe give Singularity Harness a shot. Yeah, I would give Singularity Harness a shot. I think even though it's epic, replace, and this is ancestral, I would use Singularity Harness. I would take out this, put in Ohm Chip. And then on Ohm Chip, I would put on Spotlight Angle and going through my list of module effects on my head. I think the big thing will be Spotlight Angle, maybe Spotlight Bonus as well. I think that would probably be pretty solid. Your armor module, that you'll probably want this, and then you'll want defense, absolute defense, and regen on this. And then, of course, swap out the DP for something else. And then, as I mentioned, I think, what was it? Dropping your, pulling some of the metals out of cooldown, so it's 100 seconds, and put it into bonus. Maybe a little bit into duration as well. And why I'm thinking duration is because if you're going to have a 20-second delay, it might be better like a 10-second delay because of this. If this is synchronized up with all your econ, you want to make sure when the missiles go off, your golden bot is active. So yeah, probably a 10-second delay from your econ activation until the smart missiles go out. They go out, and hopefully everything's dead right as golden bot is coming off cooldown. So you might eventually want to run some duration abs on golden bot. I think that would be a pretty solid move. But yeah, I think I've got a plan there. I think it's going to yield a lot of coin for you, like a tremendous amount of coin. Like taking this to almost having like double your coin. That's a good start there. You know, doubling your coin again, or even more, probably even more by just taking off death penalty and using anything else. And then for substats, I wouldn't worry about like attack speed. That's great for DP and for tournaments, but super crit chance and super crit multiplier are going to be really, really like your top two, followed by like critical factor. Yeah, as far as like for farming. Yeah. Let's see. Oh wait, you already have this? Okay, so defense, perfect. You got health regen, perfect. Knockback chance, I would just take that off. Just eat that off. Put something else in there, especially if you're trying to hoard enemies on your tower for this. I think that's going to be a penalty. Landmine damage, whatever. You're probably going to re-roll it off anyway, just to make sure that the costs are a little bit lower. But you might try to, when you're re-rolling, try to get Ancestral Health Regen. That's super powerful. And then Absolute Defense. I think that'll be very, very nice. Yeah. Anyway, and then with once you get the smart missiles all bundled up with all of this stuff, I think that's another potentially time to damage, more or less. Depending on like how many prots are trying to clog up your black holes. So if you're able to eat the prots, then they're not a problem, and that's a possible double source of income as well. Anyway, I think that's all I've got. I will catch you later.